Hello, my name is Sun. I am a marketer and I teach storytelling. And what I try to do is I have a community called Night Owl Nation where I teach storytelling and we practice storytelling. And the type of storytelling we do is called a myth truth sandwich. A myth truth sandwich is something where you take some sort of an advice that people give and then try to debunk that advice with the opposite advice. So myth, truth, and then almost always this person is correct and this person is also correct. So what we try to do is we try to find the real truth, which is sometimes this and sometimes that. What is the real truth, right? In what cases it's like this, and what cases it's like that. Um, so here's like a very simple example. So people say be patient, but in business, people also say start before you're ready, right? Start. So don't be patient, right? Be impatient. So which is true, right? The truth is you should be impatient. You should start before you're ready. You should be impatient when you take the actions. But when it comes to time for waiting for the result, waiting for the outcome, you should be patient. So be impatient with your actions, but be impatient with your actions, but be patient with your results. Something like that. Um, so today I want to do something a little bit different where I'm gonna actually write one of these carousels that I make. So I made these carousels. So when I make a carousel like this with using a myth truth sandwich, usually at the end people will be like, "Oh, I never thought of it that way," right? And that's the whole point, and that's what I teach. So what we do in our community is people submit their myth truth sandwich stories, and then we'll try to work through it. And then if there's one good ones, then I'll pick it out and I'll turn it into a guest post. So in this one, the idea started from, I'm going to help. So one of the members, her name is Yelena, she submitted a story where, so most of our story starts from something we've personally experienced in our life, right? So her myth was this, right? That compliments are good, right? We should give people compliments. But sometimes she would receive these compliments from like people that she knows. She was like, "Oh, you look so good," or "Oh, you lost so much weight, you look so good." And but then in reality, she's like, "What are you saying? I didn't look good before. Like, oh, how come you didn't like you didn't want to say that I look fat before, or you didn't want to say that I didn't look good before, like you know." So it's like it's kind of like it makes people self-conscious. Some compliments make people self-conscious, right? So we talked through that, and long story short, after talking through this, which is part of what we do in the community, we have these small groups where people can get together, kind of debate, and try to debunk each other's ideas, right? So that we can find the real truth. So after talking to that, the conclusion we came to is that when you give compliments, um, like not all compliments are going to come off as compliments. So we should be careful. We should be considerate of the person that we're giving compliment to before we do it. If we want to be selfless, right? If we're really trying to be selfless. Now, I've thought about that and I actually changed my mind, right? Just thinking about like I think here's the real truth. Um Before we thought, okay, compliment is good, but the truth is it can come off as a criticism. So the real truth is when you give compliment, you should be selfless. But the thing is, in most of these cases, the person who's giving these compliments is coming from a genuine place. Because for me, for example, right? Um, like I used to, when I was young, like it doesn't happen as much anymore, but like when I meet people, people will be like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'll say, "Oh, I'm from here. I'm from California," or something like that. And people will be like, "No, no, no, but where are you from?" Right? And I will get offended, right? And I'll be like, "What?" Like I'll be like, "I'm from California." And so I would actually, even though I know what they mean, like what nationality are you? I wouldn't say it. I'd be like, I'm from here. I'm from California. I'm from America, right? And that's me kind of like also being passive aggressive, right? When but what I found out is like when people do that to me, it's not that they're trying to offend me. They're not trying to be passive aggressive. They're genuinely curious and they want to get to know me, right? It wasn't with bad intention. I was just taking it that way. And I think that this advice for this carousel advice that we're giving, I think is coming from a wrong place. I think what we're doing is we're telling that person who's giving the compliment or who's asking me where I'm from that they shouldn't be like that, even though they're coming from a genuine place, right? Yes, some people might do that in a passive aggressive way, right? They might do that on purpose. Be like, oh my gosh, oh, you look so good now that you lost all that weight. Oh, I didn't want to say anything. That person actually knows that they're being passive aggressive. They're not genuinely trying to compliment you. They're actually looking down on you, right? So that person knows that they're doing it on purpose. So even if we make this carousel and say, hey, when you give advice, make sure, or when you give compliment, make sure that you're being selfless and being considerate. They're not going to do that because the whole point was they weren't trying to be considerate. They were trying to put you down, right? So then it's not going to work, right? The only person that this message will work on are people who are already genuinely giving advice to, which I don't think there's any problem with that. If they're genuinely giving compliment to, right? And if they're genuinely giving compliment, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like it's coming from a good intention. If it's genuine, then I think the problem is the person who's receiving the compliment. It's something in their whatever childhood trauma or something they're subconscious about that's causing them to take it as a criticism when the other person meant well, right? In that case, I'm the one who has to change. I'm the one who has to get over this getting trigger over something that somebody's genuinely being like genuinely being kind about, right? So I'm gonna flip this carousel, and instead of speaking to the person who's giving the compliment, I want to rewrite it for the person who's receiving the compliment, right? So let me share my screen and let's get into it. Okay. So just to kind of give you an idea, this was the original carousel. People say if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Think about these nice comments. Your makeup looks so good, but you never comment on their face when they don't wear makeup. You look so good, but you never said that when they had more weight. Oh, you lose some weight, well done, but you judge them when they put on weight again. You have so much hair now, but you never compliment when they had problem with thin hair. Even these compliments come from a genuine place. They build up secret pressure in our head that some some looks make us good enough or worthy enough, and some are not. And we connect our looks with our value. Next time, if you have something nice to say about someone's looks, just don't, unless they bring this up. So I think the rewrite that we did here, so instead of saying don't compliment people, what we ended up is when you compliment people, just be considerate of the other person, right? So is it selfless to compliment others? Consider these compliments. You lost so much weight, you look great. Are you saying I was fat? Are you you look so good with makeup? Are you saying I look bad without it? Truth is, it depends because some compliments can be received as criticism, and that's not a selfless compliment. It's selfish. Next time you give a compliment, be considerate of your audience. Okay. So based on what I just said, right, before I share the screen, like I'm gonna flip it and I'm gonna rewrite it. Rewrite. Target audience is the person receiving the compliment, not giving the compliment. Okay. So here I'm gonna say, so I want to keep these, right? The example is still works here because this is how we're receiving it. Um, so I'm just gonna write out all my thoughts. I'm not gonna edit myself or anything like that, and then we'll go through and edit it. Um, do you feel like do you ever get passive aggressive compliments? Or maybe something like, do you ever feel like someone's complimenting you, but are actually criticizing you on the inside? Something like that? Like, So here, maybe I'll give you lost so much weight, you look great. Like, and then here I might say something like that. Here I might say what they said, what you heard. You look great now that you lost all that weight. And then here, what they said. You look so good with makeup. What you heard. You look ugly without makeup. And then I want to say, like, the truth is, most people aren't um trying to be passive aggressive, or most people aren't, or maybe trying to criticize you. Uh, they might, they're just trying to be nice. If something triggers you, find out where that's coming from, like I childhood trauma or something. Okay, let's see. Let's see how this works. I'm trying to think about what is the um so maybe it's something like the myth is like um when someone triggers you, you might think that person is being mean. Oh. And then uh, okay. So I'm gonna flip this. I'm gonna start out by somebody triggering you, and then I'm gonna end it with they're actually trying to compliment you, something like that, right? So I might say something like, so instead of I'm starting with what they said, I'm gonna start with what you heard. You lost all that weight. I didn't want to say anything. It's great you lost all that weight. I didn't want to say anything, is what you heard. What they actually said is, You look so great. You look so bad before. What they actually said was, you look so much, you lost so much weight, you look great. Or okay, let's flip this one too. What you heard is, you look ugly without makeup. What they said was, oh, you look so good with makeup. The truth is, most people aren't. They're not criticizing. They're just being nice. So let me think about the lesson. Is so the myth is that when somebody triggers you, that they're being mean, but the truth is they're not being mean. Um, so maybe the truth, maybe the real truth is, right, is um you should, I guess if you should like take a moment to see if they're being mean or being nice before you jump to conclusions. Okay, like so if something triggers you, they're not necessarily being mean. You just might be self-conscious about that topic. Find out where that's coming from. The truth is, you should take a moment to see if they're being mean or being nice before you jump to conclusion. Okay. Well, I'm gonna start with that. I'm gonna keep rewriting. Okay, so I think the myth is that um when I'm being triggered, it's because people are being mean. But the truth is, um, they might not be being mean. It might just be me taking it personally, right? Because of um some sort of a trigger or something like that, right? Um, okay. I did a quick little Googling and I didn't know this, but apparently, like in the therapy, this, trauma world, apparently a lot of people are saying that you shouldn't compliment people on their weight or, some on their looks because it can be triggering, right? So I didn't know that. So I actually, now that I know that, I want to use that as a myth truth, kind of thing. So I might rewrite it like this. Um, yeah, everyone loves, so the myth truth is this, right? Everyone loves a compliment, right? But there's people also say don't compliment, you know, when you compliment on someone's looks, it might be a trigger. For example, um, so everyone loves a compliment, but complimenting someone on their looks can actually be a trigger. For example, um, what you heard is, oh, you look bad when you were fat. What they said. So same thing here. So I'm gonna go back. What they said, what you heard. You look ugly without makeup. The truth is, you should. So what's the truth, the real truth here? Everyone loves compliment, but complimenting someone on their looks can be actually be a trigger. But I don't think that means you should stop complimenting, right? Um, but sometimes compl so I want to make sure that I'm talking to the audience that I'm talking to is the person who's feeling this way, right? Who's getting the compliment, not giving the compliment, right? So that I still want to, because I think that's the person who needs to hear this the most. So sometimes, uh, but sometimes compliments can trigger you. What they said, so what you heard, what they said, what you heard. And then, the real truth is maybe something like, um, yes, and they may be insensitive by complimenting on your looks. But most times they're not clueless. They're just trying to be nice. If some if something triggered you, before you get offended, try to figure out why the compliment sounded like criticism. because there might be a deeper issue. That's triggering you, or something like that. Okay. Let's look at it again. Okay. I want to make sure that I'm getting this concept correct. Okay. So if somebody's complimenting you and you get triggered, like, so I think the myth is like everyone loves compliment, but there's this also other advice going on out there that says like you're being insensitive when you compliment somebody on their weight or when you compliment somebody on their looks or something like that, right? Um, but and they're both true. Yes, it can be triggering, and but it might be insensitive to compliment someone on their looks. But at the end of the day, they're still complimenting. They're trying to be nice. It's not that they're trying to be mean on purpose, right? So I think the real problem here is that, so the real truth is that instead of just getting mad that they're being insensitive, we should dig deeper to see what's causing that trigger. Something like that. Like what? Let me Google that. What causes triggers? System. Yeah, it might be coming from some sort of traumatic stress, some sort of a trauma. So that's what I was looking for. Something trauma. Uh, Try to figure out deeper issue. Um, there might be because it might be related to an unresolved trauma or something like that, right? Okay, so let's go with that. So by the way, the first slide we always do a hook, and the last slide we do a CTA, and we want to try to keep it under. So we might have to cut this down. Everyone loves a compliment, but sometimes but getting compliments. So you know what I might do is I might take out this example and then focus on the weight thing only because that makes it hyper specific. And I think everyone, it's more like if I say if you compliment somebody's weight, that might be inconsiderate or something like that, right? You lost so much weight, you look great. What are you saying? I I look fat before? Compliment on your weight. But most times they're genuinely trying to be nice. If something triggers you, instead of jumping to conclusions, try to figure out why. It might be related to an unresolved trauma. That makes sense. Everyone loves a compliment, but getting compliments can. But some compliments can might trigger you. For example, you lost so much weight, you look great. What are you saying? I looked bad before? Yes, there. They may be insensitive by complimenting you on your weight. Commenting on your weight. But most times they're genuinely trying to be nice. If something triggers you, instead of jumping to conclusion, try to figure out why. It might be related to your triggers may be related to an unresolved. Like here, I want to say overreaction, but something triggers you. Okay, let me take this and then let me see if I can put it into a, okay, so the next step, I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna put it into a carousel. So I already started making the carousel based on the old concept, but I'm gonna redo it. So here, everyone loves a compliment. But some compliments, for example, great. If something triggers you, don't react immediately. Try to figure out why. Your triggers may be related to an unresolved trauma. Most likely, genuinely trying. They're genuinely being nice. So one of the things that we do is we try to make things, we try to find a way to say the same thing with the least number of words possible. And also like, we don't want to over explain. We want people to read between the lines so that, people feel like, and I think if we give good enough examples and make clear enough statements that people will get it. We don't have to over explain every little thing. You might think, yes, commenting on someone's weight may be insensitive, but most likely they're genuinely being nice. If something triggers you, don't react immediately. Try to figure, okay, let's see. Let's read the whole thing. Everyone loves a compliment, but some compliments might trigger you. For example, you lost so much weight, you look great. What are you saying? I look bad before? Yes. That feels a little bit abrupt, right? What are you saying? I look bad before? Commenting on someone's weight may be insensitive, but most likely they're genuinely being nice. Something triggers you, don't react immediately. Try to figure out why. Your triggers may be related to an unresolved trauma. Let me see. I don't know if I mean it seems like it's there. Okay, let me read it out again. What am I missing? Everyone loves a compliment, but some compliment like right now, I think that the reason why I'm kind of hesitating is because I think there's too many curveballs, too many plot twists. Like it's like, am I trying to say that compliment is good? Am I trying to, but and then I'm trying to make it sound like compliment is bad, and I'm trying to make it sound like it's good again. Like, so it might be confusing, right? It's like too many plot twists. Everyone loves a compliment, but some compliments might trigger you. For example, you look so, you lost so much weight, you look great. What are you saying? I look bad before? Commenting on someone's weight may be insensitive, but most likely they're genuinely being nice. If something triggers you, don't react immediately. Try to figure out why. Your triggers may be related to an unresolved trauma. Commenting on someone's weight may be insensitive. What are you saying? I look. So here's the myth and truth. That's pretty clear. Everyone loves compliment, but some compliments might trigger you, right? May be insensitive. For example, you look so much, you lost so much weight, you look great. What are you saying? I look bad before? Commenting on someone's weight may be insensitive. Everyone loves compliments. Some compliments may be insensitive. What do you think? Yeah, maybe this slide and this slide is unnecessary because I'm like I think saying these three combined already says this, so this might be over explaining. But some compliments may be insensitive. For example, you lost so much weight, you look great. What are you saying? I look bad before? You might blame them for being insensitive, but most let me read it out again. Everyone loves a compliment, but some compliments may be insensitive. For example, you lost so much weight, you look great. What are you saying? I look bad before? You might blame them for being insensitive. Yeah, I don't want to say, okay, may sound like criticism, but some compliments sound like a criticism. For example, you lost so much weight, you look great. What are you saying? I look bad before? You might blame them for being insensitive, but most likely they're genuinely being nice. If something triggers you, don't react immediately. Try to figure out why. Your triggers may be related to an unresolved trauma. Okay. I'm gonna read it one more time. Everyone everyone loves a compliment, but some compliments sound like criticism. Sound like criticism. For example, you lost so much weight, you look great. What do you think? I look bad before? You might blame them for being insensitive. But most likely they're genuinely being nice. If someone triggers you, don't react immediately. Try to figure out why. Your triggers maybe. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with this for now, and then let's keep going. So one another thing I try to do is I try to make sure where's the turning point, right? So first, everyone, some compliments sound like a criticism. Everyone loves a compliment, but some compliments sound like a criticism. For example, you lost so much weight, you look great. What are you saying? I look bad before. So there's like a couple of misdirections here because it sounds like I'm gonna say compliment is good, but some. So here's one turning point, and then okay, let's go with it. So here's a turning point one, right? You lost so much weight. okay, maybe like these two slides might be turning point work because in the beginning I make it sound like oh compliments are good, but then here compliments are bad, and then I'm also saying actually compliments are good again. It might just be you, so like it, you know. So here might be another turning point. Um, so I want to make sure that people understand that. And one of the things that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start out um, black background, and then here to let them know that tone is changing a little bit. Here I might turn to like a little bit light gray background and then white background. And then white background here. Okay. So maybe here I'm gonna do kind of dark gray, light gray, and then white, something like that. So it's showing a it's like it there's a lot of plot twists here. So I'm using the color of the slides to indicate where the plot twists are. So people so it's more clear. So everyone loves compliment it. I like to highlight certain words. So that when people are quickly swiping through that there's certain words. But here it's so short, so I might just make the whole thing. But here I want to, but some compliments sound like a criticism, right? So I want to highlight those two. Some compliments sound like a criticism. For example, actually here, because it might be really, this might really be more powerful if I use a photo here, right? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go look for a photo. So I might look for a photo like of like somebody giving a compliment. So the two websites that I try to use is Unsplash or Pexels, which they're both completely completely free photo site. So giving compliment. Or maybe I should like I keep seeing GIFs, so they might be thinking that it's so compliment. Or maybe I'm gonna say seeing friends or meeting friends. And the reason why I'm saying meeting friends is because like that's kind of when um people might give compliments, right? When they see each other after they've seen. You know what would be a perfect image? If one side of the picture has somebody that's like, oh hey, and then the other person, the receiving end, is like, meh, they're kind of not having it. Like something like so maybe like this a picture like this, um, but then this person like maybe is not happy. So one person is happy and the other person is not happy. Like that's what I don't know how I would find a photo like that. Let me see here. Meeting friends. Passive aggressive. I feel like passive aggressive would do it. Okay, so obviously, like this, whenever I'm looking for a specific photo like that with specific emotions, it's gonna be hard to find in these free photo sites. So I'm gonna go to like a actual stock photo website, then search for passive aggressive. Passive aggressive. Right. Not happy to see. I would really, really love to see have that photo. I don't know if I can find it. Um, one person happy, happy. Awkward meeting. Maybe I can say like one-sided. Or maybe insensitive. I guess this is gonna be really hard to find. Sometimes I have to go to Google and search for it first. Not happy to see a friend. Oh yeah, this is something like this is what I was looking for. Like one person is happy and the other person is not. Someone's, I don't know what I would search to find that image. Search image with Google. Because this looks like a stock photo. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for this image in a stock photo site. So when you do search image with Google, it'll look for other websites that have it like here. See, there's one from Shutterstock. So now I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna try to see uh like what is the description for men. I guess maybe I can do something like that. Bored listening to friend. Let me try that. Bored listening to friend. Oh, this could something like this could be good. Yes, you know, it's what's so funny is like that this is totally not what I'm trying to say, right? Like, but it it actually like because these images are showing that somebody like loves to talk and the other person's kind of bored. But for some reason, that image also works with what I'm trying to say, right? Like, well, one person is like giving a compliment and the other person is not taking it that way. Maybe unhappy friend with a happy friend. Like this can work too. Yeah, I think that last one might work. Something like this. Eh, like imagine her saying like, "Hey, you lost weight. You look so great." It's like, what do you think? I look bad before. Like that's kind of like what I'm trying to achieve, right? Let's look at this one. I'm saying it so that I'm trying to imagine this person saying, "Hey, you look so great." What are you saying? I look bad before? So that can kind of work. Guess I'm gonna keep. I might use this one. Okay, let's see if this one works. Yeah, this one doesn't really work. It's pretty clear that that's not what's happening there. Like imagine this person saying, "Hey, you look so great." What do you think? No, because I think that one's too clear that that person is just bored. Yeah. So far, I think this is the winner. Let's look at the other. Okay, this one might work. Let's see. Hey, you look so great. Look, what are you saying? I didn't look up. Yeah, that one doesn't work either. Like I think this one doesn't work because she doesn't look very happy, right? Now, let's look at this series, see if there's something. This one maybe. No, maybe I want to try this. Not accepting apology. Maybe female friends apology. Yeah, those are too literal. Let me Google it. Friends not accepting apology. Or maybe um trying to cheer up friend. Making them laugh. Maybe cheering up happy friend. Okay, I think I'm gonna use one of these. So it's either this or this. Neither are perfect, but I feel like so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna before I actually buy it, what I usually do is I'll copy it to see if it works. Oh, I have to log in. Okay. I have to try it. I want to try it first to make sure that it'll work. So it's gonna be something because this is a carousel. These two are connected, right? So imagine this person going. Hey, you lost so much weight. You look great. And then what this person is actually hearing is, what are you saying? I look bad before? Something like that. Hey, you look so much weight. What are you saying? I look bad before? Okay. Not perfect, so let's try this one now. This one might work better. I think this one works a little bit better. So, hey, you look so much weight. You look great. What are you saying? I look bad before. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go with this one. So let's download this one. So what I do is I gotta do a little bit of photoshopping here to make it kind of seamless for here. Because I want it to be because I don't want to have this block. I might want to stretch this image out, right? Actually, let me actually try this new. There's a new Photoshop. Uh, where there's this AI that can fill in the rest of this image by itself. So let's try that. Let's try like from what I've tried so far, it didn't really work out too well, but let's see if it works out this time. Okay. So a regular carousel is 1080 by 1350, but I made it 2160 because I'm expanding this across two slides, right? So I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna go like this. I might have the image something like this. And what this tool apparently does is um it'll generate. I have to figure out how to use it, but apparently what it does is it generates based on um this image, it'll fill in the rest. I have to figure out how to use it though. Generative fill, I think it's called. Generate. Let's see if that works. Oh, fuck. Shit, that's amazing. You see what happened there? It generated that rest of the image based on this. That's fucking amazing. Oh, it's a little bit scary, actually. Okay. Good, good, good. That was fucking amazing. Okay. I actually don't even think I have to do anything. Okay, so the only thing I might do now, actually, is um I'm gonna because like here there's some little distraction, and I'm gonna put copy here. So I want to make this part of the image more, whatchamacallit, uh, like because the background. What's gonna happen is if I use this image right now here, this is what's gonna happen. Um, First of all, I'm gonna have to change the background to white because, and I'm gonna have to change the color, the text to black. So what's gonna happen is if I use this image right now like this, it looks like this, right? But it's gonna be hard to read the text because there's so much going on in the background. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of magic to make the background a little bit um less busy. Well, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make the image a little bit smaller too, because I want it to be like here, so there's some space. So I might regenerate this image again. So let me take this, let me make it a little smaller. And I also like seeing the cups here. So I'm gonna make it a little smaller so that you can see the cups. And then let's try this again. Generative fill. Generate. Wow, this is a game changer actually. The fact that Photoshop can do this. Because like for me, one of the hardest thing is finding an image with enough copy space so that I can put copy on there. But now that I can do this, this is actually kind of a game changer. So let's see if that works better. I mean, I think spacing wise, that works pretty great, right? I just have to fix up the top area here. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna copy this layer. So you see I have a duplicate layer over here. And I'm gonna make the top layer really bright. See, like I'm brightening it and making it like that so that um I can have copy space. But down here, so I'm deleting this layer and I still have this other layer underneath it. So I'm deleting this layer so I can you can still see their face, right? Without a problem, right? Something like that. I won't be able to see her hair here. So then if I put the copy here, it won't be as busy with the background, right? And then you see how I'm changing the opacity here. And then another thing I want to do is here, I feel like it's a little messy here. So I'm going to take this clone stem tool. So what this does is it takes like a little clone of this area and you can fill like you can fill it in with, so I can get rid of this line. Yeah. I'm gonna take this area and use the clone stem to get rid of this line. Okay, perfect. Now I'm gonna take this image and put it in here. Let's take a look. So now it's easier to see the text, right? I might want to do it a little bit more. So I'm gonna pick another layer. I'm gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna make it brighter. Then yeah, so much easier to read now. I might put exclamation here. Make it extra dramatic. Okay, I think that works, right? What if I And the reason why I do that, these are two separate slides, but because I connected them, what happens is when you swipe, you can tell that this is part of the same picture, right? So, all right, so let's see. Everyone loves a compliment, but some compliments sound like criticism. For example, you lost so much weight, you look great. Maybe I'll just say, you lost weight, you look great. What are you saying? You look bad before? What if I did this? I want to highlight, you look great. Yeah, that hits much stronger for somebody who's just quickly swiping through. Here, I'll make this because I feel like this is like another turning point here. So I might use a light gray background here. And then white background here. You might blame them for being insensitive, but most likely they're genuinely being nice. Something triggers you. Let's see if that, if something triggers you, if something triggers you, don't react immediately. Try to figure out why. Your triggers may be related to an unresolved trauma. And then I used it. This is usually the final slide. So this was written by Yelena. So I'm going to copy her image. I don't know how to copy that image. So what I do is I do an inspect element and then I'll take it from here. And then I'll just cut it out in a circle. I mean, I'm sure there's like much better way to do this, but this is easy enough. Um, fine. And then I'll put an Instagram handle there. Okay, let's see. So what should I use for the hook here? Maybe I want to say something like passive aggressive. Um, you know what? You know what would be nice? Because we're talking about compliment and criticism, and those are kind of um contradicting word. So I might want to say something like compliment or criticism. Because they're first of all, they're contradicting. And when I say compliment or criticism, people are gonna it feels it's mysterious. You don't know what I'm you don't know what I'm trying to say. I kind of live it leaves some it leaves a lot to imagination. So compliment or criticism. And I might do something like um I might look for a photo that's like you know, half what do you call that? Half happy, half. Yeah, something like this. This might be better because it's clear background. I want something with clear background so I can put copy over it. It would be even better if it was black background actually. What's this one? Hmm. This might work actually. I think this one might work. I'm gonna do this one. Again, I'm gonna put it in here. But I need copy space here, so I might have to make it smaller, right? Something like that. So I can, because remember the copy is gonna go here. So I need to make it even smaller. And then I don't want to have that little line there. I'm gonna get rid of that. And then I want to make it black and white. And then we'll generate. This is gonna be my new favorite tool from now on, by the way. This little AI tool. What the fuck? Okay, that didn't work. Okay, so then I'm gonna, I'll try it here. What I'm gonna do is I want this carousel background to be black. I'll start with black background here. Take this image, make it darker. It looks kind of scary, but whatever. I'm actually gonna flip it. And then I'll stretch this part. That doesn't really work. You know what? I'll fade this part out. And I'll select the background. Make it darker. There we go. That kind of works. Compliment or criticism. Everyone loves a compliment. But some compliments sound like criticism. For example, everyone loves, but some compliments sound like criticism. For example, you lost weight, you look great. What are you saying? I looked bad before. You might blame them for being insensitive, but most likely they're genuine. Someone triggers you. Don't react immediately. Try to figure out why. Your triggers may be related to unresolved trauma. I never thought of it that way. Okay, that's I'm gonna keep it that way. Okay, that's it. Um, I know that took a long time, but thank you all for watching. I'm gonna post that in my Instagram tomorrow. And if you like this, let me know and I'll do more of these. Okay, bye everyone.